What is up, Tots? I'm Sam O.
And I'm Sam Prete.
And you're with A Tale of Two Sams. Sam, you just left me hanging on that one.
Oh, honestly,
Okay.
I'm having an off week.
Yeah.
I openly had a stroke yesterday talking to Jess, our intern, and Sam. Sam was like, are you okay? And I'm like, actually, no, I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm malfunctioning.
So, no, we were trying to do the voice recording because that's what the kids do these days. They're young, cool kids. So we were trying to fit in, and Sam started stroking out, and I don't even know what the hell she was talking about. And I go, can you not send that? Honestly, Sam, thank God you knew how to not send it, because I don't even know how not. I have to send something once I start recording it.
I'm not that old. I know how to not send it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, but yeah. But yeah, I'm having one of those weeks too. And it's funny. We're recording right now and my hair's wet. Sam's hair's greasy. It's just one of those weeks that you just can't catch your breath.
Yeah.
Right?
We've been trying to record for a whole entire week now.
Yep, literally. But I think that's everyone right now, because I've actually spoken to a few different people that work at a few different companies that I work with, and everyone seems like they're yeah, on the same page, dude. It has to be something with retrograde or something.
I was gonna say, is Mercury in retrograde?
Yeah, I don't know exactly what that means, but I've heard the expression before, so I'm going with it.
Yeah, no, me either. Meanwhile, I have a tattoo of Capricorn on my wrist. I'm yeah, I'm so Capricorn, but ask me anything about any other horoscope. I'm
nothing.
Not familiar.
So you're so astrological. Is that the word? Nope, just
you know what? Yeah, I don't know. We're not gonna try. Okay. So what's got you fired up this week?
A weird thought that I had, and it's been bothering me since I had it.
Yeah.
Okay. Pre-COVID, I don't know if this is gonna make sense when I say it loud, but we were all so worried about putting toilet paper down on the seat. And I feel a lot of my friends didn't even wash their hands after they left the bathroom. Where now it's obviously we're worried about every germ in the world, but it makes me laugh because realistically, if you don't put toilet paper down on the seat, who is it hurting? It's your leg. It's anything. Well, I do, but I'm just saying, I think that's such a wild concept.
That we put toilet paper on the seat?
No, that some people would put toilet paper on the seat before washing their hands. I've seen several of my friends do it.
Oh, that's definitely
disgusting.
Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, that's disgusting. So I'm more of I gotta say, sometimes I'm just you said, it's my leg. Worse things have probably touched my butt area.
Yeah. And honestly, my butt doesn't even touch the seat. I feel it's my legs.
And you try to squat.
Yeah.
For sure. I think there's a lot of gross things that we did before COVID that I'm I can't believe we did that.
Yeah.
Bowling. Think of how kind of nasty that is. You're sticking your fingers in these holes where everyone else is sticking their fingers, eating and then eating finger foods.
Yeah.
Not even consciously being let me wipe my hands down every single time I bowl.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
How about pumping gas?
Gross.
When you pump your own gas and then you get in your car, you touch your steering wheel, you touch it's just disgusting, actually. If you really think about it.
Oh, it's gross. I'm trying to think of other things. Just kind of anything. I definitely would say I was conscious about hand washing in general. But when I think to all the times that I don't know, my phone fell on the subway floor.
Yeah.
Or Metro card.
Yeah.
And I didn't have hand sanitizer on me.
Yeah. And my hand sanitizer was always Bath and Body Works, 1% actual alcohol to clean your hands.
Oh, right. 90%.
I just liked it to smell good.
Right. 90% smell, 1%. Wait, 10%, 10% cleaner.
You're
I'm not good
okay.
at math.
Yep.
Mm.
Yeah, so anyway, that's what's kind of gotten me fired up this week. So I guess I'm pretty blessed.
Yeah, that's like the most minimal thing that could fire anyone up.
Yep.
So something that's like firing me up this week. It didn't really fire me up, but it got me like excited to talk about.
Ooh.
Friday night, me and the gals were having a girls' night,
Mm.
and I don't know how we got on the conversation, but we just were talking about the first time that we felt horny, like the vagina tingle.
Mm.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you know, when
Mhm.
you're
Yeah.
kissing someone and you're like, oh, there it is.
Yeah. Well, I
I
feel
got
like guys feel it a lot earlier than girls because they're just like
yeah,
getting hard like as soon as they're like born.
like popping out of the womb. Yeah.
Literally.
So it was funny, and these stories were just like so absurd. For me, it did unlock a vault story.
Oh, okay. Let's hear it.
Yeah.
This is our tale. Now we got a tale. We went right into like
Yay.
how horrible our lives are, but okay, tale, go.
Um, so I want to say I felt like the vagina tingle before this, but
Mm.
I wasn't sure like what exactly was happening. But the first time that I actually remember being like, oh my God, like I'm turned on,
Mm-hmm.
I was in the basement of some like dude's house. I don't know. We used to just walk around like
Yeah.
in high school. We just like visit random
Wait, this was
like,
in
oh,
high
do you want to
school?
meet up? Yeah. I was like a sophomore. I was
Yeah, you
old.
definitely had vagina tingles before that, but this is your first,
Yeah.
okay,
This was like my first intense like
memorable
make
one.
out where I
Cool.
was like, whoa, I could have sex right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you little horn dog.
No, guys,
Go.
for the record, I was a late, well, I don't consider this late, but some might. I was 17 with my
Yeah,
boyfriend. I'd
I
say
was
that's
18,
pretty,
my boyfriend.
yeah. I think that that's
It was
so
on my
pure.
18th birthday.
Mine was on Valentine's Day. Ew.
Why are we so lame? He
We're
bought
like,
me like I always was like I'm gonna like wait a year and then I'll give it up. And then he bought me a $500 necklace and I was like, okay, fine, we'll do it right now. But also we were dating for
I'm
6 months at
dead.
that point. My love language is gifts.
Yeah.
So now you were all tingly in this boy's basement.
In this boy's basement, we're like making out. I'm like, oh my God, he touched my boob. This is insane.
Oh my god, that was insane. Yeah.
And then this was like the first time anyone is like, I hate the word fingered, but I guess we have to use it.
Mm-hmm.
This was the first time that this had happened to me. And like, I just remember being like, whoa, what the actual fuck is going on down there? Number one, the most self conscious I ever been in my life. I'm like, I'm definitely hairy. Like, this kid, and he was older. So I was like, I was a sophomore. He was a junior. He asked me to junior prom after this. So I guess I did something right.
You were so good. Oh my god.
No names on the pod, but I think
Yeah.
you would know him if I said his name. So that was my first vagina tingle. And then I think ever since then, I was sort of like, wow, I could like very easily have sex right now.
Mm,
And that's when I was like, maybe I need to like hold myself back. And
mm.
I almost feel like, why did I feel like that? You
Well, because
know?
you were very young.
Right,
Yeah.
right. But
I
then
honestly I think that you had the right idea.
I
I
think
think that
I was just like,
sometimes you make stupid decisions at that age and that could be a really really bad one.
so
If you
would
do it
you
wrong.
say, oh, yeah, I mean, you could quite
Can-
literally end up with a child
with a child with an STD with
with
yeah,
it, any of the
in a
above.
tough situation. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think that maybe you had the right idea.
Right. But but would you say that like girls these days are rushing into that?
Hmm. I'd like to think
I was a sophomore. I know I hear stories from my little sister when she was a sophomore in high school, and I'm like, I
yeah.
was not fucking doing that.
Yeah, so I think that it's like different extremes. So I have some young folk in my life, and I'd like to say that one end of the spectrum is graduated high school, and has had a boyfriend for 2 years and still has not had sex. And then there's the other end of the spectrum, like giving blowjobs behind movie theaters. They're both like about 18, 19 now. And, I would consider myself like reasonably close to both of them that they tell me, especially because I'm kind of like a cool aged person. I'm not their mom, but I'm not,
Right.
I'm somebody that like, I feel like they would tell me. I don't think they're lying to me.
Right.
And I just think that the one that's still a virgin and it doesn't make her more self-righteous by any means or anything, but I think that social media has affected her differently, and she's seen like the negatives from social media and
Mm.
has seen like that end of the spectrum, where I think that the other one who has had sex and does more risque actions has maybe taken a different approach, like a different look into like social media, like she wants to grow up a little too fast. So I think that there's two different ways of being, and it's just like an extreme notion these days, because it's like you're literally being told what to do, and like you can get any information and take it how you
Yeah.
want it. And so it's just, I mean, I find myself like that too, and I'm 25 years old, and I'd like to think that I'm like able to make my own decisions, but it like takes a toll on you, right?
Yeah. I wonder if also where you grow up kind of has to do with it.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like city kids kind of just grow up earlier in general, just because they're exposed to a little bit more. Not, and I don't mean just New York City. I mean just like city's
Yeah.
environment, opposed to
Yeah.
like suburbs
Well, I think that
or
that's true to a certain extent. I remember being a kid and
right.
meeting somebody like on vacation, and they were from Texas. And he was telling me, like, I mean, we were like kids, like we were like early high school,
Mm.
And he's telling me that, in Texas, that they're so bored, they have nothing better to do, that they just like go to the barn and have sex with each other and like watch each other. I'm like, what? Like, this
Whoa.
is wild. Like, but it was
Watch each
because,
other?
yeah, like it was like
Have
literally would
sex?
do it like, I'm like, what? Like, no. Like to me, that was a crazy concept, because I'm a city kid who like can go to
Mm.
like can take a bus to the movies, like, or to, you know, where I
Right.
guess to them it was like, all right, let's go to the barn and figure out what we're gonna do. Hurdy.
You know what? That's actually true because now I'm thinking about it. I
Sorry,
feel
I
like
didn't
a
mean to
lot
make
of
fun
like,
of Texas people with my accent.
no, that was kind of nice.
Thanks.
Now that I think about it, yeah, like if you watch like Teen Mom, a lot of them are from like places that are not so, I guess,
Yeah.
yeah, like they're bored. There's not much going on.
Yeah. So, I mean, I really personally think it just has to do with the person, and has to do with um, what they, how they perceive different things that they might learn and see.
Yeah.
And I think it does have to do with something about the way that you're raised. My mom's never like taught me that sex is bad by any
Right.
means. She's been big on like, you don't want to have just one partner. You want to make sure that you love the person that you're with, et cetera, et cetera. Not like go sleep around, but I think that her not being like holy high and mighty, like
Right.
preacher's daughter, like type thing, has made
Hmm.
me not like want to rebel against them, but also not like, I have to do it to feel accepted, or whatever it may be. So I think that there
Yeah.
is a certain thing to the way that you're raised, I think, as well.
I mean, I look back to my first makeout. I was so not ready. I did it
Yeah.
totally because all my friends were doing it. Like
100%. Me too.
I was not even remotely, I did not enjoy it in the slightest. And
Mm-hmm.
everyone was like crowded around, like, oh my God, they're gonna
Yeah.
do it, like they're gonna kiss. I just remember like his tongue in my mouth, like I'm gonna fucking vomit. Like
Yep.
this is the worst thing. So after that was like sixth grade, I think. Like I was
Yeah.
young. And then again, I think that like freaked me out. I didn't like it. So I don't think I kissed anyone again until like eighth grade, freshman year.
Yeah. Do you think that our listeners use the word de-pruded, or is that like a Staten Island, New York City type thing?
I have used this term, I feel like, to people that are not from the boroughs and they don't
Yeah.
know.
Yep.
They're like de-pruded. What the fuck does that mean?
Yeah. So anyone that doesn't know is that it's basically like losing your virginity is the sex version of de-pruded is the makeout version.
Yeah. I'd
So
say that's
once
a
you
good
make out with
explanation.
somebody, you were de-pruded. Cool. So yeah, so I had the same pressure on me. Like, is she still a prude or did she get de-pruded?
A
Meanwhile, a
prude,
prude
yes.
means something
Oh,
totally different. A
yeah.
prude is like somebody that is like 40 and like still a virgin and never been touched. That's a prude to me.
Not like an 11-year-old in 6th grade.
Right. Not a 12-year-old that hasn't kissed
That like
anybody.
hasn't kissed a boy,
Mhm.
like you're a prude.
Yep.
It was crazy. I just felt like I always had to, this is like a little therapy session for me, maybe.
You're
I
welcome.
really felt like I had to keep up with my friends. I don't think I was like the nerdy, like weird one by any means, but
Mhm.
like I definitely was not up to that level of like, I really care about boys. Also, because like I
Yeah.
danced and like I had
Yeah.
hobbies, and I was just like, kissing a boy isn't a priority, but maybe it should be because all my friends are telling me it should be.
Yup. And we all like, we believe them because we were,
Ugh,
12 and not ready
impressionable
to
little
make those
children.
type of decisions, which goes back to my point about like, I think that there was a reason and it was a valid feeling that you were having, like that you weren't ready to have sex. And like,
Right.
yeah, like you shouldn't have been ready. You were so young.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean,
It
I
was
even think
like
about it now with my little
14,
cousins.
15.
Yeah.
That's so young.
Like I think about it now, once they turned 18, I'm like, no, you would never have sex. And then I'm like, but I did,
I know.
like that's crazy.
Yeah. It's wild.
Yeah.
Anytime my little sister is not that little. I'm calling her little. She's like 20, 21.
Mhm.
Even now, she'll like tell me about it. I mean, listen, I love a good sex story, but
Yeah.
out of her mouth, I'm like,
Oh no.
cringe.
Yep. Openly. Oh my God. Yeah, I'm not ready for like my like little cousins and little brother to like talk about it around me. Like I'm not. I want to be cool with them.
Mm-mm.
Like, like I said, like I think that they would tell me because I'm cool. I'm hip.
You're
But
cool, right? Mm-hmm. Valid.
but yeah, no, I'm not that cool. In my head, I'm like, whoa. Anyway, that was crazy. That was a crazy, crazy combo.
Yeah, that got a little deep. I didn't even mean for it to go in that direction, to be quite honest. But like I said, this is maybe my therapy session that I needed
Hmm.
this week.
Yeah.
Oh, so this is a thought that I had at brunch. We finally met our intern Jess in person. It was fun.
Yes.
And she was just talking to me about like how she's kind of just getting sick of the cycle of talking to someone, liking them, and then she says that when she actually does have feeling someone for someone, it kind of gives her a little bit of anxiety. And I was like,
Mm,
why does it give you anxiety if you like someone? That should be fun. It should be like the beginning, the best part.
yeah.
But then I feel like when I was younger, I understand what she's saying. Like you're texting a boy and you like him or a girl, whatever, and you
Hmm.
like them. And that anxiety stems from looking at your phone. Oh my God, did they text me back? Or like, oh my God, did they
Yeah.
Snapchat me? Or oh my God, are they never going to answer me again? And
Yeah.
like a part of me feels like I'm over that, but a part of me subconsciously is like, I don't think I'm over that.
No, I'm definitely not. I remember the guy that I was like recently talking to. He like texted me and was like, I need to talk to you about something. We were like 3 weeks into talking and like liked him, was like having fun with him.
Hmm.
And he's like, I need to talk to you. Can you come outside? Like he wouldn't even like come in my apartment. So I'm like, okay. And I just remember like, he was like, I'll be there in like 5 minutes. I remember like, I don't know why, but I like I was getting my shoes on. I looked at myself in the mirror and I was like, this is why I don't talk to people. Like, this is why I don't
Yeah.
start liking people. Like, because
Yeah.
like now if he like ends things with me, I'm going to be like devastated. And like, and it's like, I don't really have a right to be devastated. Like we weren't official. Like we weren't like, and like, I feel like that's a really valid like
Yeah.
fear and anxiety. Like, it's like, no one wants to like feel upset and have like people not understand why they're upset either. Like I feel like breakups are obviously not easy, but easier when you have your friends and we've like talked about this before. Like you need
Yeah.
like your friends.
Yeah.
But like when your friends can't understand that you like actually cared about somebody in the month that you were talking to them, it becomes like awkward. It like sucks. It's like you don't want to feel this way and you do.
Yeah.
So
Dating is tiresome in that sense,
it really is.
like you put your in energy into something that you're like, oh, this will work.
Yeah, but it could not work out.
Right. And then, you ignore the red flags and
Mm-hmm.
and the cycle continues.
Yeah. I'm thinking about my
Is
myself
this a
now.
is this a sad girl episode? Why are we so
Why are we so somber?
we're so
Because we're having withdrawals from alcohol from the weekend.
that could very possibly it. A lot of alcohol was consumed this
Could very
weekend.
possibly be it. We had somebody submit to us that we told them we'd bring up. So I'm gonna bring it up.
Hmm.
About red flags.
Oh yeah. Oh, this is
Which one I'm talking about? So
yes.
she asks, is no red flags a red flag?
I almost feel like yes.
Yeah.
But then again, it depends on how there are no red flags, if that makes sense.
Well,
I'm
okay,
trying to
so
figure out how to dissect this.
yeah, so I actually just had a thought. I was going into this, like when we bring this up in the episode, like I'm gonna say yes, that's a red flag. But then I was like, I literally just had this epiphany, quite literally just now. Everybody's red flags are different. Like, of course, there's a few common ones that we're all just, well, you shouldn't have Saturdays are for the boys flag in his room. We all get it, But there's different red flags for different people. So for me, a big red flag is I want him to not have a 5-year plan, but have the next step. What are you working toward? You should have that next
ambition.
Yeah, that ambition, right? So that's a red flag for me. But for some people, that doesn't really bother them in the sense that if you're doing something you love, just keep doing it. If that makes you happy. For me, I like that, that ambition.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's not a red flag for you, then it's somebody that works for you. So maybe it's okay not to have red flags.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because those things are working for you.
Yeah. I also will say though, comparing to people that I have dated or, had little flings with, in the beginning, when there's no red flags, it's almost too good to be true. And then I feel a month in, they start showing up and you're like, oh, so you're not as great as I thought you were. So I feel in the beginning, some no red flags is a red flag in a sense that are they kind of putting on a front? Are they really just trying to impress you and keep you? And again, everything in the beginning is very new and exciting.
Right.
So it's you're not thinking about it so much. But then once it starts to get kind of serious, you're like, wait a minute. How did I not see this before?
Yeah.
Maybe people are blinded to the red flags until they get ghosted.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that being blinded to the red flags is normal. And kind of should be that way, because otherwise why are you dating them any further?
Right.
Not everything's gonna be peaches and cream. You're you're not gonna find Prince Charming that's gonna come along and there's gonna be, I feel typically there's 0 red flags, but at first if you see red flags, you shouldn't be with them. So it's probably good that you're not seeing red flags at first, but you do want to keep that open mind as you'd get to know somebody, that the red flags that you might not be seeing are not always him not paying the bill, or not things that are obvious. They might be lower, deeper rooted things that you shouldn't know on the first few dates. Do you know what is that making sense?
Yeah.
Okay, I feel I kind of talked around that for a second. Sorry.
No, I totally understand what you're saying. And that just made me think for me, that happened to me was the way he responded to my nude picture, to my nude that I sent. Me, that's very important to me. Maybe that's a self-esteem issue. I don't know. But if I'm sending you a nude and you're going to reply some shit I don't know, a fire emoji or the 2 eyes, a emoji. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. I just sent you my naked body and that's what you're sending back. I was just no. Yeah. It was just an immediate turn off. And then I felt from there, I started noticing every red flag. And I was this dude,
that
he doesn't know. He doesn't get it.
Right. If that's his worst thing that he does, that's why it's a red flag and not a deal breaker. You know what I mean? Like you can look past those types of things, but at least you're taking note to them.
Yeah, maybe it's a deal breaker then for me because I was fucking pissed.
Yeah. I mean,
I was like,
right.
I feel like I couldn't bounce back.
Yeah.
Is that dramatic?
Maybe a little.
I just feel like your guy should gas you the fuck up, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I mean, yeah. I don't know if I would be like how I'd feel in that situation. Like, yeah, I guess I would, like, I want him to be like, you motherfucking sex muffin, get over here and somp, you know?
Somp.
And yeah, I think I'd be pretty pissed about that. But I think my point about red flags versus deal breakers is that you're allowed to have a few red flags without it being a deal breaker, but you should be taking note to them. As females, we should be like, noted. He put eye looking around emoji to my nude. Don't send nudes. Not that we keep doing the same thing and just like a vicious cycle, or talk to them about it, like, is another option. But we can't be blind to them, is my point.
You can't be blind to them. And I just feel like so many times red flags end up being deal breakers.
Yeah.
Like they just do. Like as crazy as that sounds, it's like this damn, I sound like a freaking horn dog, but you know what? It's fine. A big part of a relationship, I think, for anyone is just like you should be able to like have fun and send nudes and like sext and like be like a little crazy. Like that's fun for me. Like I can never be with anyone that's dull in that way because I'm very, it's just fun. I'm like playful in that way.
We're like 25. And like, we're like in our mid 20s, like, and don't have long-term boyfriends or anything. So yeah, be playful.
Yeah, fucking sue me.
Right.
So for me, that was just like if he's like not gonna respond, like if he's not reacting to something as like simple as a nude in this way, then how am I gonna feel confident? Number one, ever sending one again. Number two, just like talking about sex in general. I think that's another red. If you don't feel comfortable communicating to whoever you're seeing at the time, wait, that's strange. Why is this like weird to talk about? Like we're supposed to be like comfortable.
I'm
you know?
like, I feel very like passionate about that.
Yeah.
Like I'll never forget my first boyfriend like told me that I sounded like a command sergeant. I think I've like said this before on the pod, but because I like told you where to find the clip, like, so you're calling me a command sergeant? Okay. Like, you know, and I don't think I was like being mean about it. Like it was like pillow talk, you know what I mean? Like
that's sorry your ego was hurt.
Right, exactly. Like whatever, like grow up, dude. But
which shouldn't be the case.
It was immaturity, but
right. Yeah. I mean, that makes sense if you're young. But like now at this age, it's like if you can't be open to just like talking about whatever.
Yeah. Wait, so I have a question.
Yeah.
What's like the perfect response to a nude? Because I've been thinking about it while you were talking, and I think I have mine.
Ooh, fun. Can you say yours? Because like I feel like I have to think about it. Okay.
For sure. So my perfect response to a nude is him sending back himself turned on.
So like a hard wiener?
Like even if it's like, I actually would prefer like boxers, like him in bed. Boxers, but it's like, like that was hot. You don't even have to write anything at that point. That was me, baby.
Okay.
I like
that. I would not be mad about that by any means. But the perfect response, oh jeez.
Intense.
The perfect response. Sam, you are the most gorgeous, beautiful, perfect thing I ever laid my eyes on. Will you please come to me right this second, sit on my face, let's make sweet love. I can't resist you. I love you. No. No, okay, come on.
Jay. No, but I like get that too. That's also a good response.
Okay, no, realistic. This dude is just like kind of, nothing serious. Like, right. I really just love it. Like, that's so fucking hot. Or like say they're at work or something, which I love to do. I think it's hilarious. Just like send, if they're like, oh my God, I'm at work. I have no business like being this horny or like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, stop turning me on at work. Like,
yeah. That is always very funny when they're at work. I actually got myself in trouble with that one time though. I had like texted something like a little sexy And you know how like Apple CarPlay plays your message if you like click it?
Ah,
Mm-hmm. So he was in the car with like his boss, and I guess they were like going to lunch or whatever it may be. And it like played out loud, and it was something like, I don't know, like something really crazy. I don't even feel comfortable saying it.
I'm gonna suck your big ween later.
No, it was something about like, I don't know. It made him look really cool though. So you're welcome. You know who you are, and you're welcome.
Wow.
I know.
That's so cringe.
Now that we're not together, I'm like, damn.
I just have another
Made you look
vault
too good.
story. Just came
Oh,
from
vault
like a
story?
phone.
Mm.
Yeah. So it was sophomore year, and I had just started like watching porn. I was like new to porn. Like I didn't watch porn
Sophomore year of high
until
school or
college.
college?
College.
Yeah, same. Mine
Even
was actually
masturbating.
post-college, honestly.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah. Like I didn't need it in college. I was just horned the fuck up.
Yeah. I was definitely horned up in college. I think that's why I found it in college,
Mm.
because I was like, I'm so horny.
Eek, eek, eek.
So I had, did what I had to do before going to the bar.
Mm.
DJ'd a little. Got ready. I was ready to have a fucking night.
Before you went to the bar,
Yeah, it was like, I don't know, not like right before, but like
is this what I'm
before.
doing wrong?
I don't
Should
know.
I
What do
be
you mean?
masturbating before I'm going to the bar?
I masturbate at literally any time of the day whenever I want.
Fuck.
So I get ready. I'm at the bar. Now it's like late night. I'm flirting. And the guy that I'm talking to, I forget what we were talking about, but I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna fact check that. Like, I'm gonna Google that."
Mm-hmm.
I pull up my phone. I
No.
forgot to clear my phone history, and it's Pornhub in big fucking letters. And I was like,
No.
"Ah!" And I like shut it, and he was like, "What was that?" And I was like, "Oh, nothing. I was teaching my roommate. Like, she's a prude and never gave a blowjob. I had to like teach her how to give a blowjob." Sam, it
My
was,
jaw is on the floor.
oh my God, like this is the most embarrassing thing to ever happen to me. But it's so funny because now, like, I don't know, I talk to like all my guy friends about porn and like
Yeah.
my girlfriends, and it's like not weird. But
No, it's not
back
weird.
then, I was like, because I didn't, again, like, I feel like it wasn't spoken about. Like, I didn't speak about it to
No.
my friends. Like, I wasn't like, what are you
Yeah.
masturbating to?
Yep. Well, can I tell you like that the only reason that I even like tried DJing at all, and
Mm.
if anybody doesn't know, DJing is masturbating, obviously. Read a book. I'm just kidding.
Read a fucking
But
book.
the only reason I tried DJing is because no names on the pod, I almost just said her name, but somebody at Ralph's, where me and Sam like originally met, was talking about it with me, and all the girls like started talking about it, and I'm like, am I the only one that hasn't done this? And I went
Wow.
home that night and I was like, I'm gonna figure this shit out. I mean, I didn't start working at Ralph's until I was a junior, so I like was either a junior or senior in high school. Like
Mm.
that's kind of late. Like I
Yeah.
think it was after like I had sex for the first time too,
Oh,
which is
for
even
me,
worse.
it absolutely was after.
Yeah, like that's not cool. You should know your own body first before you let somebody
I
else figure it
do.
out.
This is a fun game, actually. Do you remember your first? Oh,
Mm.
I do. Like, I remember
Yeah.
it perfectly because I was like, this is what it is. I thought, like, maybe I've had one before.
Mm-hmm.
And then I actually had one, and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
now I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
was like,
remember mine.
yeah, I was,
Was that a really weird place? Okay, go.
I love that. Mine was like, it's not the craziest story. It's just funny that I remember exactly. I was just my couch, like my parents' house, obviously, because I was in high school.
Right.
And it was with my boyfriend at the time, and we had been dating for, I want to say like maybe 6 months. So actually, no, it had to be longer than that because I don't even think I had sex at 6 months. But either way, a year maybe. And I was on top, and like this was the first time that we kind of like did this position. Like he was sitting on the couch, and I was like straddling him, and then I was like, wait a minute, this feels like really good. What's happening right now? And then I just like rocked with it, and then it happened, and he was like, wow, like you've never heard you like react that way before. I was like, just
I've
had
never reacted
orgasm.
that way before.
I was like, yeah, I haven't either. Thank you. So I did it myself. From there, it was like, I think I need to figure out what's going on. And again, it's kind of crazy to think about that I was having sex I mean, not way before, but like before, and just not knowing what I'm missing out on, which is weird. No one talked about it.
Yeah. It definitely is a weird concept. And like, I hope that it's like a stigma that we're working towards breaking here on A Tale of Two Shams. But
Yeah, baby.
So mine was, I have like a sunroom in the back of my house, and there's patio furniture back there. And it was on July 4th. And funny enough, I think we talked about this during Dr. Megan's episode, the sex therapist. I think that it's hot, but I don't like get off from like oral, like a guy doing oral to me. So it's like ironic that the first time and up until like, I think like after my first boyfriend, oral was the only way that I ever did.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah. And then I feel like I figured out DJing, and then I like figured out other ways.
Like, yeah.
Right. Anyway, so let's recap what we talked about today, huh?
We talked about
putting your legs on the seat when you pee. First, washing your hands.
Nasty shit pre-COVID.
Gross. Everyone's having a rough week this week, and Mercury might be in retrograde, but we're not entirely sure. Sprete got horny for the first time in 7th grade?
No, sophomore year
of high school. Yeah. You got de-pruded in 6th grade. I got de-pruded in 7th grade.
Don't feel pressured to have sex until you're ready. We talked a lot about red flags.
Oh, yeah.
We talked a lot about orgasm.
This is going to be a really weird title for this episode.
Again, yeah. This has been an off week. Off. But we are glad that you are still tuning in. Anyway.
Yeah.
To listen to our therapy session. Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in. So if you would like to follow us on Instagram, you could follow us at
A Tale of Two Sams podcast.
And you can follow us on Twitter at
A Tale of Two Sams.
And you can email us your thoughts, concerns, thoughts,
farts and thoughts.
Which are your farts, thoughts. Okay, thoughts, concerns, questions at
A Tale of Two Sams at gmail.com.
Thank you guys for tuning in, and we hope you don't hate us too much after this episode. We promise to be better in the future.
Cringing, bye. I look like a gremlin.
I look like my John Travolta hair.